Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayesa Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavatir Naishtaki. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 25, Texts 3, 4 and 5. So first I will recite slokas 3 and 4 and read the translation and short purport. Then we will all together recite the 5th sloka. Verse number 3. Aho Srimad Mahatmyam Gopanam Kana Naukasam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Echakshurdeva Helanam. Translation. Indra said, just see how these coward men living in the forest have become so greatly intoxicated by their prosperity. They have surrendered to an ordinary human being, Krishna, and thus they have offended the gods. Purport. Of course, Indra was really saying that the coward men had offended him, Indra, by taking shelter of Krishna, whom Indra is considered to be Martya, a mortal. This was certainly a gross miscalculation on Indra's part. Verse number 4. Yatadridhai karma mayahi kratubhir nama naunibihai vidyam anvikshikim vidva titirshanti bhavarnavam. Translation. Their taking shelter of Krishna is just like the foolish attempt of men who abandon transcendental knowledge of the self instead of try to cross over great ocean of material existence in the false boats of fruitive and ritual sacrifices. Verse number 5. Vachalam Balisam Stabdham Aghyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopaha Me Chakru Apriyam. Vachalam balisham tabdam Vachalam balisham stabdam Agyam panditamaninam Agyam panditamaninam Krishnam martyam upasritya Krishnam martyam upasritya Gopa me chakrurapriyam Gopa me chakrurapriyam Vachalam balisam stabdam Agyam panditamaninam Krishnam martyam upasritya Gopa me chakrurapriyam Vachalam balisam stabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Vachalam Bali Samtabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Vachalam Bali Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Agyam Panditamaninam Krishnam Martyam Upasritya Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Matajis Vachalam Bali Samstabdam Krishnam Martyam Gopa me Chakrurapriyam Word to word meaning. Vachalam, over talkative. Balisam, child. Stabdam, arrogant. Agyam, foolish. Panditamaninam, thinking himself wise. Krishnam, Krishna. Martyam, a human being. Upasritya, taking shelter of. Gopaha, the cowards. Me, against me. Chakruhu, having acted. Apriyam, unfavorably. Translation and purport by the disciples of His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation. These cowherd men have acted inimically toward me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being, Krishna, who thinks himself very wise, but who is simply a foolish, arrogant, over-talkative child. Purport. According to Srila Sridhar Swami, through the insults of Indra, goddess Saraswati is actually praising Krishna. The Acharya explains, Vachalam means one who can speak according to Vedic authority. Balisam means free from pretension, just like a child. Stabdam means that he bows down to no one because there is no one for him to offer homage to. Agyam means that there is nothing more for him to know because he is omniscient. Panditamaninam means that he is highly honored by the knowers of the absolute truth. And Krishnam means he is the supreme absolute truth, whose transcendental form is full of eternity and ecstasy. Martyam means that although he is the absolute truth, he nevertheless appears in this world as a human being out of affection for his devotees. Indra wanted to rebuke Krishna as Vachalam because the Lord had presented many audacious arguments in the line of Karma Mimamsa and Sankhya philosophy, even though he did not accept these arguments. Thus, Indra called the Lord Balisa, foolish. Indra called him Stabda because he had spoken boldly even in the presence of his own father. Thus, although Indra attempted to criticize Sri Krishna, the Lord's transcendental character is in fact impeccable, and this chapter will demonstrate how Indra came to recognize the position of the Lord. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanasalakaya Sakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Girim Yat Kripatamaham Bande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Krishna Chaitanya Devam Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastacha Desatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. In this section of Srimad Bhagavatam, we are reading how Nanda Maharaj was arranging a yajna for Indra to actually give the tax this kind of tax in return for the rains that he supplies. Rain god, so giving something back to him. And Lord Krishna, after inquiring from Nanda Maharaj, he actually, as it is mentioned here, preached what is known as Karma Mimamsa. Karma Mimamsa is that by means of our karma everything happens. You don't have to worry about other things. And this is one school of Indian thought. 6 schools, Shad Darshans. And we are Uttar Mimamsa. This is called Purva. Karma Mimamsa is also known as Purva Mimamsa. We are Uttar Mimamsa. We are also Mimamsakas, but we are Vedantist. Uttar Mimamsa. So, what actually Krishna suggested as an alternative of making an yajna for Indra is to worship the cows, Brahmanas and Govardhana hill. Cow is Sarva Devo Maya. Indra is there in cow also. When cow is worshipped, Indra is worshipped also. Every demigods, including Supreme Lord, is also there. Everybody is worshipped by worshipping cow. The Brahmanas, through the mouth of Brahmana, the Supreme Lord eats actually. The sacrifice in the fire you are offering, so the flames he is actually accepting the offering. And when the Brahmana is offered prasad, through the mouth of Brahmana is accepting also. And in fact, Krishna actually assumed the form of Govardhan and he ate right in front. Indra is watching, by the way. All the things that is happening in Braj, everyone is watching, including all the demigods and Indra. Indra saw Krishna assume the form of Govardhan and he ate. He wanted more, Aniyor, bring more. So, Indra was very angry that his sacrifice was cancelled. In fact, if Indra's sacrifice was made, what would have happened is, even in that sacrifice also Krishna has to be worshipped first. Vishnu's offering has to be done. First offering is to Vishnu. Even though it is Indra's sacrifice, the first offering is to be Vishnu and you are supposed to get prasad of Vishnu. All the demigods are actually given prasad of Lord Vishnu in any sacrifice. So, even in Indra Yajna, Indra is only supposed to get prasad of Lord Vishnu. No, it is not something directly he can accept anything. And now that Govardhan Puja is done, and the Supreme Lord himself as Govardhan ate prasad, and as it is said, through the Brahmana's mouth the Lord is eating, and the cows are worshipped. Indra could have done an alternative thing. Very humbly came to Braj and accepted Govardhan Mahaprasad. That is also a possibility, He could have come and said that, oh, Krishna has come, Krishna has eaten, and the cows are worshipped, Brahmanas are worshipped. Let me also get a plate of Mahaprasad. That would have been far more better option than he becoming very upset. Very upset. And in fact, if you see, what did he miss? So much so that he has to be so upset. This one yajna in the earthly planet, this 1 year is equivalent to 1 day in the heavenly planet. The heavenly planet is just 1 day. And this 1 year on the earth, 1 year on the earth, then you can calculate, it comes to only 2 minutes from the heavenly calculation. Just 2 minutes. That means in the heavenly planet, for them it is, if it is, in 1 year that is happening here, like that 360 years when it goes, it is just 1 day in heavenly planet for them. Sri Sri Radha Ras Bihari Ji ki, Sitaram Lakshmanaman ki, Sri Sri Gaurnitai ki, Srila Prabhupada ki. So he was getting every year this yajna offering. So only 1 year is not getting, this year actually, that is equivalent to only 2 minutes. In 2 minutes something if you don't get, and every other time you are getting, it is like a peanut for him. In addition, he has provided rain for the entire planet. And in the entire planet there are so many, continents, countries, provinces. One small village, that is Braj, there if they have not given and everywhere else has given, what is it equivalent to? It's just insignificant, not even a peanut actually. Nanoscale, you have to take something nano, some small thing he didn't get. It's not a very big deal actually. Very angry. Very angry. He was so upset that he actually decided to retaliate. To just understand Indra's situation, he is very insecure and self-centered. Something is not available to him, immediately becomes upset. There are so many pastimes in Srimad Bhagavatam wherein Indra's characteristics are demonstrated. Indra is actually a position for those who perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Indra is also known as Shatakrathu, who performs 100 Ashwamedha Yajna. If you perform 100 Ashwamedha Yajna perfectly, then one gets qualification to become Indra, the next Manvantara. There is already one Manvantara going on. You may be performing it. Not that because you performed that Indra will be removed. No. Next Manvantara. Another Manvantara. Some other Manvantara. You will become Indra. Your post is secured. But when it is, Krishna will decide. When you will become. When the Supreme Lord, in the form of Shakti Avesh Avatar, Prithu Maharaj Shakti Avesh Avatar, he was performing Ashwamedha Yajnas. 1, 2, 3, 4, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. He performed 99 Ashwamedha Yajnas. Indra is watching and counting. Kitna hua? 99 ho gaya. Then 100th Ashwamedha Yajna, the Prithu Maharaj was arranging. Indra became very unhappy. I have performed 100. How can there be somebody who can be performing equivalent? Hare, somebody has to perform Baba to become next Indra. What is your problem? You became Indra. At that time Indra did not get upset. Now somebody wants to become Indra. It is not that Prithu Maharaj wanted to become Indra. That is only one qualification. Doesn't mean that, no, you are qualified. You may be qualified, but you may not accept the position also. Prithu Maharaj is Shakti Avesh Avatar. What Indra's position has to do with it? But he was just performing under Yajna, and Indra comes and steals the horse meant for the Yajna. Horse is supposed to be sacrificed, he stole it. How he stole it? He took a form of a sannyasi, something like a sannyasi, imposter sannyasi. Imposter sannyasi started from Indra, is the founder Acharya of that. Actually. Dressed like a sannyasi, like drama. In drama we put different dresses, that is only for drama. It's a real time drama. He stole, and Prithu's son started chasing him. And when he saw that Prithu's son is chasing him, he disappeared, leaving the horse. Prithu's son brought the horse back. Again they were arranging the yajna. Again he took another form of sannyas, different forms of sannyas. Again stole the horse. Again Prithu's son chased him and brought back. Again he disappeared and brought back the horse. Prithu was angry. What is this? Why are you again and again stealing? You don't have any other work or what? He took his bow and arrow. He wanted to, punish him. And the Brahmana said, no, don't kill him. In the sacrificial arena, only animals are killed. Indra cannot be killed. And they said, "Theek hai, chhod do." Then, the Brahmanas who were doing the yajna, they said, this Indra is always creating trouble. So we will do one thing. We will offer Indra as the oblation in the fire. You can do that. Brahmanas are so powerful. By means of mantra, you can bring anybody and just to put him in the oblation also. So they were going to bring Indra and put him in the fire so that he will not steal again. Then Brahma appears. Wait. You can't kill Indra. His span 72 Divya Yugas is supposed to be Indra. But he may lose his post in between because of his own mischievous activity. But 72 Divya Yugas, you can't kill him actually. Lord Brahma told the Brahmanas that Indra is as good as the Supreme Personality of Godhead in terms of administration of the material world. He is doing the job. So, he's a representative of Lord Krishna. You can't kill him actually. Don't kill him. Why you want 100th yajna? Prithu Maharaj, let it be 99 only. You are already glorious. Leave it like that. So, Prithu Maharaj agreed and he didn't take any action against Indra. He didn't achieve the 100th yagya, only 99 yagya. But still he is glorious. He doesn't have to be anything less than Indra. In fact, he is Shakti Avesh Avatar, much more than Indra. So even though 72 Divega lifespan in his, the Indra's position is secure, it's secure. Many times, Indra actually gets into trouble by means of his own misdeeds. Once Indra offended Brahaspati, his own guru, and he lost all his opulence because offending one's own spiritual master, guru, it has consequence. So he wanted to do a yajna to regain his opulence. He appointed Vishwarupa as a Brahmana, and Vishwarupa gave some prasad actually in a hidden way to the demons, Asuras. Demigods are Suras and Asuras. When Indra came to know, he beheaded him. Brahmana killing is very sinful. And he got the consequence for that. His father, Twashta, he actually thought that how is that this Indra is so puffed up and even killed a Brahmana? So I will actually create a person who will kill Indra. So he arranged a yajna in which he was supposed to recite a mantra. Indra Shatru. Shatru is enemy. I will create a person who will enemy of Indra. Enemy of Indra means, he will be more powerful than Indra. So while chanting the mantra, you will have to know that Brahmanas are experts in chanting mantra. We are not talking today, talking in Satyuga. So expert. Instead of chanting Indra Shatru, he chanted Indra Shatru. Little bit longer one matra. Little bit. Indra, instead of Indra, Indra. Sometimes we take things for granted. Krishna. Not Krishna. Krishna means actually Draupadi. Yamuna is also known as Krishna, is female gender. River Krishna is also there. Krishna, long if you have, that is actually female gender. Krishna is male gender. Little bit, but Krishna adjusts, no problem. We will call him longer also, no problem. How is this a perfect chanter Brahmana can actually make it such a small mistake by means of which he created a person whom Indra has to kill? Instead of creating an enemy for Indra, he created an enemy who will be killed by Indra actually. Mattahas smriti jnanam apohanam cha. You can't kill Indra in between because secured 72 Divayigas. So Krishna has to act in different ways to make sure that Indra's position is secure. Vritrasura came, very powerful demon from this, and they wanted to know how to actually kill him. They go to Vishnu. Whenever there is a problem, all the demigods, including Indra, quote unquote, including him, always go to Vishnu. Went to Vishnu. Vishnu said, "Theek hai, go to Dadishi Muni and take his bone. He will give with that bones, make thunderbolt. Then that thunderbolt can be used to kill Vritrasura, nothing else." So thunderbolt. So we know that Indra possesses a thunderbolt. It is on the advice of Vishnu from Dadishi Rishi. He got it. And Indra gets into trouble many times. Indra got into trouble with Durvasha Muni. Durvasha Muni once gave a garland and he gave it to the elephant. The elephant crushed it. Durvasha Muni cursed him. And he lost his position. He keeps losing his position even though he has a secured position because of his own misdeeds, offenses. He loses in between. He lost his position. The demons have taken over. And then go to Vishnu again. Vishnu says, churn the milk ocean. In the milk ocean churning also, Vishnu comes and helps in different ways. He comes as the tortoise to hold in between. The Amrita was generated. It has to be distributed. He comes in the form of Mohini Murti, distributes only to the demigods, not to the demon. Krishna is always there to make sure that Dharma is established. And Bali Maharaj becomes very upset. He didn't get the, Amrita. He goes back and he performs Vishwajit Yajna. And then he becomes very powerful. Again defeats Indra. Indra gets defeated. Then what to do now? Then Krishna comes as Vamanadev. Adityanam Aham Vishnu. Aditi is praying, Hare, my children are all jobless now, became paupers, what to do? No problem. Comes as Vamanadev and asks for 3 paces of land and occupies the entire universe in 2 paces. And then he sends Bali Maharaj, who is a devotee, who has done the example of Atma Nivedanam. Not now. Go to Sutala. And once he has gone, he gives back the position to Indra. How much he is doing for Indra actually, no? Indra becomes again, mil gaya, vapas. So in this way, Lord Krishna all the time tries to establish Dharma. It is stated that Srimad Bhagavatam says, Yeta chamsa kalapumsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Mridayanti Yuge Yuge. So many forms of Krishna, like Prithu Maharaj, we said, so many forms he comes. Krishna is the Supreme Personality of God, Bhagavan Swayam. And it is stated, Indrari. Indrari means the enemies of Indra. When the enemies of Indra, who is opposing Indra's position, when they become powerful, Krishna says, I come yuga after yuga. Whenever this happens, he comes. So many times Indra lost the pose. He came actually. Yuge, yuge. So, it is exactly like Lord Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha duskritam dharma samstapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Again, yuge, yuge. Paritranaya sadhunam, to protect his devotee. Indra is also a devotee, but prakrata bhakta, is a materialistic devotee. He is doing the job of Krishna in administration. Krishna can, okay, you are also a devotee. But real, pure devotees he comes to protect. And he established Dharma. The Dharma of position of Indra is that 72 Yuga you are given. Nobody can come and occupy and they cannot remain in that position too long. There will be small minimum adjustment. For some time, adharma can be predominant also. Dharma is supposed to be always successful. Sometimes you will find adharma also is successful sometimes. It's a very matter of time. Krishna establishes it. So in this way, Lord Krishna again and again comes and helps Indra whenever he lost his position. Now, towards the end of Dwapara Yuga, when the earth was overburdened with sinful people, increasing military power of demons and kings who are not acting properly, she could not bear the burden. She went to the demigods headed by Lord Brahma. So Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and all the demigods. When it is said all the demigods, please note it down, underline. Indra is part of it. Indra is also there. They went to the shore of the milk ocean, Kshirshagar. Oh, my dear Lord. Then the Lord reveals, okay, I'm coming. Don't worry. You all go. Then Lord Krishna comes in the womb of Mother Devaki. Then all the demigods. So Devaki becomes very effulgent. Ordinary woman cannot become. The Lord is in the womb of Devaki. She becomes very effulgent. Demigods came to know, yes, Krishna is going to come. Again, Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, accompanied by all the great sages and all the demigods headed by Indra. They all come to Mathura in the prison house, hidden way. They actually glorify Lord Krishna in the womb. And they say, we surrender unto you because you are the only one who can give protection. Telling the child inside the womb. Those who are covered by the material energy, Maya, they cannot see you who is behind this manifestation of material energy. Materialistic people cannot see. We are all demigods. Ah, you are there. You are seeing. Including Indra. Because they cannot see you, they fall down from their position because they have not taken shelter at your lotus feet. Said by people including Indra. He's not even alone. He is with the big personalities. Brahma, Shiva, all the great sages, they are all in the higher position than Indra. Indra is little bit niche. You are so merciful. You are going to descend. And you are going to walk on this earth, which is overburdened now. And your lotus feet imprints will have conch, all that emblem will be there. And you will walk on the earth planet. Not only that, you may sometime come to heaven and you will put your imprints on this place. We will be very fortunate to see that. Said by Indra. Indra is part of the thing. Indra says, along with others, you are not an ordinary living entity appearing in this material world. Indra, all the demigods, Brahma, Shiva, everybody is telling, you are not an ordinary living entity. Just because any other child is taking birth because of fruitive activity. And you are descending out of your own causeless mercy. You are descending out of your own causeless mercy. And we worship you. Mother Devaki, you do not fear now. Krishna is there, don't worry. He is going to take care of everything. And they circumambulate Mother Devaki and pray and go back. So, Krishna was in the womb. Prayers were made by all the demigods, including Indra. Krishna is born. They are watching. So you have to know that demigods are watching everything happening because it's a very important event. And how can they miss? The Lord is going to appear. He said He's appearing. He's appearing. They know in the womb. They are watching. They without taking the sight anywhere else. Because it's just a few years in earthly planet. It's just few moments in heavenly planet actually. The Lord is born with 4 hands. And then He takes the form of a small baby. He tells, no child is telling the father what to do. And he's telling, Vasudeva, please take me to Gokul. In the prison house, the guards are sleeping. The doors are opening. Yamuna is giving the way. Flooded. Yamuna is giving away. These are all watched by all the demigods, including Indra. Including Indra. And Krishna performs his pastime, childhood pastimes in Gokul. As a small baby, just milk-sucking baby, he could kill Putana. Unimaginable. How is a small baby killing? They are watching. And so many pastimes, we will not go into detail. And he is showing the mouth to Mother Yasoda and showing the universal form inside the small mouth. A small baby's mouth will be this much only, no? In that he can show universal form and all the demigods are also part of that universal form. And they are also watching from outside part of this. They are bewildered also. Just like Yasoda was wondering, what is this inside the mouth? Something is wrong. Demigods are watching. And they are watching. Mother Yasoda is bringing so much rope, but not able to tie Krishna. They are watching and worrying. What is happening? You bring a rope, it's only 2 inches less, and you bring another long rope. Again, how it can be 2 inches less? It just defies the logic. It's not logical. They are watching. They could see that something inconceivable potency is there in Krishna. Out of all these things, before this pastime, the Brahma Vimohana pastime has happened, wherein Brahma was bewildered. Indra has watched that, by the way. He should have known that my superior has gone into on such kind of trouble. He should be more careful, isn't it? Brahma thought that what is this small ordinary boy? Eating, very casually. He's supposed to be eating in a very formal way. And he stole all the calves and cowherd boys and hid it in the cave. And Krishna manifested as the calves and cowherd boys. Within a moment, which is 1 year in the earthly plants, is just one moment. And Krishna could show all these calves and cowherd boys the 400 Narayana form. And Brahma said, wow, you are the supreme. He made all the prayers. Indra heard that also, by the way. Watching and hearing. So when all these things are happened, Indra should have been a little bit more careful when his yajna was denied. It's a fact that Krishna told Nanda Maharaj that what is this? By means of karma everything is happening. And what is the need for Indra Yajna? Let us do Govardhan Puja. So, as I already said, this denial of Indra Yajna is just a peanut from Indra scale. Not even peanut, micro peanut, you can say. Maybe a nano peanut also it could be. Because just one village, one yajna is not done. What whole world, everybody is doing yajna. You take those things, One yajna, he didn't tolerate that. And he, using in these verses that we are reading, very strong words. He says that these coward men have become intoxicated. Madhav, you become intoxicated. You become you get some power and you become very proud of the power. And then you act in such a way that something may not be befitting to your normal standards. Intoxication. Indra is telling you people are intoxicated. And you people surrendered to this Krishna, ordinary human being. The same fellow, same Indra, along with demigod said, you are not ordinary when he was in the womb actually. They said, nobody else said. He was part of that group of demigods and saintly persons. They only said, you are not ordinary. Now he is telling ordinary. You can imagine now. He changed upside down. And he is telling intoxicated. Usually what happens? Somebody who is intoxicated calls ordinary person intoxicated. पीने का बोला क्या है? ज़्यादा पी लिया है क्या? He is not able to understand his level of intoxication. He is telling the coward men are intoxicated. You have offended me just by listening to this ordinary child. How dare you can actually offend me? Indra becomes very upset. And this is actually gross miscalculation on the part of Indra. Because he forgot the past, where he himself admitted that he is not ordinary. If he was ordinary, while Mother Devaki should be effulgent. You see any pregnant woman becoming effulgent? You don't see that. Becoming effulgent. Then why did he come and offer all your prayers? Forgotten. Because of his intoxication actually. He thinks, I am Indra. How is that something which is supposed to be given to me is not being given? Forgot about everything, whatever Krishna did for him. Forgot. And then he says, you are taking shelter of Lord Krishna. It is exactly like trying to cross the ocean of material existence in the false boat of fruitive activities and sacrifices. And in fact, the sacrifice to Indra is fruitive activity. And in fact, he is telling you are taking material ocean. It is acceptable. Material ocean is acceptable. and how to cross it. And he is thinking, by doing yajna to me, he will be able to cross properly. But now you have done something else. You are taking help of some other boat, which is not unfit, which is not fit actually. It is not fit to be used for crossing the material ocean. Again, all the demigods, including Indra, have said that your lotus feet is the only shelter to cross this material ocean. When he was in the womb. Strange enough. When Krishna was in the womb, same Indra said, your lotus feet is the perfect shelter to cross this ocean. Not only that he must have forgotten. Just before this pastime when Brahma Vimohana Leela happened, Brahma also confirmed that how Krishna's lotus feet is the perfect shelter. Samashritaye padapallava plavam mahat padam punya yasho murare. Bhavam budir vatsa padam param padam 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 tat vipadam natesha. The lotus feet of Krishna is the only shelter actually. There is no other shelter actually. Only shelter by means of which one can cross this ocean of material existence. Whereas Indra is telling, how dare you have taken shelter of Krishna and thinking that you are going to cross the ocean. Not only forgot his own words, he even forgot the recent teaching of Lord Brahma, who is the father of everybody in this universe. So, in the present verse that we recited, Indra is using a very kind of strong words to rebuke Lord Krishna. He says, Krishna is vachalam, jada bolta hai, over talkative. Because, why he is telling that? Because he presented karma mimamsa philosophy. He is saying that by means of karma everything is happened. What is this Indra? His job is to give rain and he gave. What is that he have to give? Jada bol raha hai. Over talkative. Sanskrit is such a wonderful language that there could be direct meaning. You can also derive indirect meaning. By different combination of the words used. So here, Srila Sridhar Swami, the original commentator on Srimad Bhagavatam, whose commentary Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu considered wonderful, worshipable. Sridhar Swami comments, even though it looks like a rebuke, actually it is glorifying. He said, Vachalam generally means over talkative, direct meaning. Vachalam could also mean that one who can speak according to Vedic authority. Krishna is Vachalam. Yes? He will speak only on Vedic authority. When Krishna speaks, it is Vedic authority actually. What Krishna speaks is Vedic authority. Vedaisya Sharvai Rahameva Vedyo Vedanta Krit Vedavit Eva Chaham. The very purpose of studying Veda is to know Krishna. What Krishna speaks is Veda. What Krishna speaks is Dharma. So he is Vachalam in that way. From his point of view, over talkative, but his real point of view is the glorification. Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, has wonderful meaning that, he is only speaking on the authority of Vedas. And Balism means child. He is a small child. What he knows. Balism can also be used to mean free from any pretensions like a child. Child doesn't have any pretension. A small child, it doesn't know how to manipulate. He will tell the truth. You won't expect a child to tell some lie actually. Small child. So much so that even child will say that mother aisa kar diya, father aisa kar diya. Just telling the truth. So, without any pretension telling the truth is Balism also. He's not childish, he is childlike. There's a difference between childish and childlike. Childlike means very simple, speaking the truth. Childish means you know things and you're acting in a very, inappropriate way, childishly. Wanting, I want this, I want that. Even though you may not need it. Childish. It's not childish. Krishna is childlike. Stop them. Indra is telling, arrogant. How arrogant this person is. Why he is telling Stabdam? Because in front of his father only he is preaching. And what is your problem? It is between father and son. He is performing his pastime. He can tell anything that he wants to his father. He told his father on the day of birth only, please take me to Gokul. What about that? He can tell what is your problem. Because you are speaking to your father only like that, Stabdam. Stabdam could also mean that he bows down to no one. He bows down to no one. His head cannot bow down. Because nobody is superior to him. One whose head never bows down, Stabdam, that is Krishna. Krishna. Agyam. Agyam means actually foolish. He is telling that, oh, Krishna is so foolish, he is doing like this. And Agyam could also mean, according to Sridhar Swami, that there is nothing more to be known for Krishna. He is omniscient. He is omniscient. Nothing to be more. If you know Krishna, you know everything. Nothing more need to be known. Nothing more need to be known. Agyam. Krishna is Agyam because by knowing Krishna, nothing more need to be known. Pandita Maninam, thinking that very learned. He has not even gone to the Gurukul, how he will be knowing it? Krishna doesn't need to go to Gurukul to know. He is already knows everything. He is the source of every knowledge. And Pandita Maninam also could mean that he is highly honored by all the Panditas. All the Panditas, including all the Panditas were there when Krishna was in the womb. They all went and offered obeisances, offered glorification. So, he is highly honored. So, he is already Pandita Maninam. And Martyam, he is telling actually, you are a mortal, ordinary human being. You are born, you are going to die. Actually, he doesn't understand that he is Martyam. After 72 Yugas, Haribol, vacate your post. He has to vacate. He is Martyam. He is thinking that because 72 Yugas is too long, he is, Amartyam. No, demigods also Martyam. Only thing they are living longer duration of time. Krishna is not Martyam. Whereas, Martyam could also mean that he is absolute truth. Nevertheless, he is appearing like a human being for the affection towards his devotees. He agrees to be born. Nobody is forcing him. Nobody is forcing him. He appears out of his own free will for performing his sweet pastimes. That is Martyam also. So in this way, the so-called insults, it looks like a very insultive verse. But actually, even though externally it may look like insultive, according to Sridhar Swami, these are all actually glorifications of Lord Krishna. Glorifications of Lord Krishna, if you see the other meaning from the Sanskrit point of view. So in fact, when Indra is telling that Krishna is childish, Krishna is foolish, Krishna is arrogant, Krishna is mortal, all these things apply to him. Apply to Indra. He is very childish because whenever there is a problem, you go to Krishna. And whenever you are normal, then when Krishna is coming, still you are acting like this. This is a childish behavior. He is so foolish. He himself offered obeisances. Now he is actually contradicting his own statements in all these verses. And he is becoming arrogant because he is holding the position of Indra, not knowing that Krishna is inka baap ka baap hai. Actually, he is the original supreme personality of Godhead, from whom the Brahma is born, from whom everybody has come, and he is telling that he has become arrogant. And he is calling him mortal when he is going to die himself. He knows that he is only for 72 Yugas. He is going to lose the post. He has to lose the post. It's not an eternal post. So in this way, even though Indra is making these statements which are very insultive, it is not appropriate for him because it is not that When everything is favorable, you glorify Krishna. When something is unfavorable, you don't glorify Krishna. This is materialistic. Materialistic persons, they go to, when they get good things, they go and tell Krishna, they go to demigods also, then puja, coconut breaking, if this happens, coconut. When something it doesn't happening, what is this God? No, I prayed so much, he did not give. This is very materialistic, prakrata. So, Indra is a prakrata bhakta. He is a bhakta, prakrata bhakta. When things are going well, it's okay. When things are not going well, that is what he is acting. Sometimes, mother, knowing the child's welfare, will take away something also, but doesn't mean the child is, the mother is not favorable to the child. If the child goes and tries to touch the flame, the mother may prohibit. Doesn't mean the child can become very upset. Mother is doing for the benefit of the child. So, when Krishna is performing his pastime, certain things he is doing without understanding the intention, acting like a childish way is inappropriate, very materialistic. But then, a devotee is not supposed to be like that. What is the lesson for us? Savai pumsam parodharmo yathor bhakti radokshaje ahaituki apratiyata yayatma suprasidati. The devotional service to Supreme Personality of Godhead, which is our duty. Offering things to Krishna is our duty. Parodharma, the human form of life. And that has to be done ahaituki, causeless, unconditional, unmotivated, unbroken, continuous, like Ganga flows down, continuously like that. If one can do that, when Krishna is not giving also, I will serve you. That is devotee. I am praying to Krishna. Krishna is not giving me what to do. I will pray to somebody else. Not giving, no problem. You give or not give, that is your problem. My duty is to serve. And that is what one is expected to do. Indra is not in that position, because of which he has to retaliate Krishna's decision. You can't retaliate Krishna's decision, by the way. If Krishna has decided to do something, really, and you have to accept it, you have no other actually, no hope, no other choice. Krishna says that this has to happen like that. Oh, it has to happen, that's it. So, in our own devotional service also, if sometimes things may be favorable, things are happening according to our desire. Sometimes things are not happening according to what we want, actually. Sometimes it happens. No problem. Ahai tuki apratayata. That will satisfy. Okay, Krishna is not giving, so what? Continue. Continue. And Krishna knows what to give and when to give. If he is not giving, there is a purpose. Krishna's plan. You have your plan. Krishna has his plan. And Krishna's plan prevails. You have to submit to Krishna's plan. There is no other option we have. There is no choice we have. So, when one does that, that will bring the perfection in the devotee, purification of heart, and then when Krishna keeps giving, he will be overwhelmed. Overwhelmed. It's a matter of time. Krishna knows when to give what. So here, Indra is not in that mood. He is in his position that I am Indra, they are supposed to offer. Who is this childish boy coming and changing the things? Miscalculation, for which we will be reading further what are the consequences. We'll stop here. Is there any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna. My question is, as we know, present Indra's name is Purandara. present Indra's name is Purandhara.
Ah.
So my question is, after spending his life, is he going to come down to the earth, again go to Goloka, or from there he can go directly to Goloka?
So, whether Indra is going to come down to the earth, because every demigods, they will actually will lose the position. In general principle, they have to come down, unless somebody is an extraordinary devotee. Right? Brahma, for example, with his intimate followers, they may go back. But not the case for Indra or any other demigods. They have to come down. And with all these things happening around, good chance that he will come down. It doesn't appear to be. In fact, there is also a description that Indra is worshipping Upendra, Vamandev, in one of the islands. Different 7 islands are there, he is worshipping. But there is no specific description that he is going to go back to Godhead. But general principle applies, unless there is exceptions. Unless there is exceptions. Then what? Then what happens? Any other description? Indra coming down after 72 Divya Yugas? So,
Like Bali Maharaj, he is a pure devotee. So when he becomes Indra, he is not going to come down.
we are talking about this Indra.
Yeah. So depends, if he is a devotee, he won't come down. But if he's if somebody has performed Ashwamedha Yajnas, but he has not become a pure devotee, then he has to come back.
So our Indra has only done Ashwamedha Yajna, not a qualification to go back to Godhead. And then when he exhausts that, see, the Ashwamedha Yajna has given him the power. So when you are spending time in, position of Indra, you are losing the power. Huh? After you lose everything, you'll have to come and chant Hare Krishna.
Just like Maharaj Nahusha, he is a very, very pious and very great personality. He became Indra, and then he was cursed. Then he became a python. So there is no guarantee that if somebody is Indra, he'll go back to Godhead. Just like Brahma, sometimes now our Brahma is a pure devotee, but sometimes ordinary living entity becomes a Brahma by doing 100 lifetimes, Swadharma. But like next, I heard next Brahma is Hanuman. So like that, it depends on.
So it depends on individuals who are occupying the position. By position itself, there is not a rule that you'll go back. Depends upon the individual. As he very correctly said, Bali Maharaj is an emblem of Atma Nivedana. When he becomes Indra, right? He will become, because he wanted to become Indra. Krishna said, "Theek hai bhai, next time aao." When he becomes Indra, but he won't do activities like this Indra. Stealing the ashram, stealing the horse, offending, killing, and talking like this. He won't do that. So when those things are not there, he will go back. So this particular Indra, since you have asked, is going to come down. And then by the time, if you are sincere and serious, you will surpass him and he'll be saying, "Arey, मेरा सामने आया, आगे जा रहा, क्या बात है? वो होने वाला चीज है, वो होता ही है." All the demigods are watching. So be careful. Not to become a victim like them. Especially such kind of inappropriate things that Indra is doing. Okay.
I have a question. In spite of Indra doing all these mischievous activities, why Krishna still favors him so much?
His system, his administration, for that system he is saving him, not as an individual. Because the entire system will collapse. Indra has to be there. And all the demigods are reporting to him. He is a king of demigods actually. All the demigods have to report to him. And the king is gone means the country will be, administration will be collapsing actually. So he is on behalf of, that is why Brahma, when actually the Brahmanas of Prithumaras Yajna, they wanted to sacrifice him actually. Chalo pakad ke lao, isko hi fall the fire mein. So no. Brahma says he is as good as Vishnu in terms of administration. You respect him as good as Vishnu. All the other demigods are his part and parcel. So if the central force is removed, the entire administration will collapse. So he wanted to make sure the administration goes on. Dharma is established. For that sake, he is saving again and again. Otherwise, he did lot of mischievous things, especially doing with Krishna. Okay, another thing I'll tell you. Okay, he actually challenged this. Govardhan Puja happened, and Krishna lifted the, Govardhan hill, and then Indra comes and worships him with a Surabhi cow, Abhishek. My dear Lord, please forgive me. He was the Supreme Lord. Again, the whole list of prayers. When Krishna was performing his pastime in Dwaraka, he went along with Satyabhama to kill Narakasura, and after that he took the earrings of Diti, and he went to heavenly planet to give to Diti, and in the heaven, because Indra himself said that we are very fortunate when you will be coming to heavenly planet and putting your lotus feet also, we can see the lotus feet footprints. He said actually, Krishna went and put the print and all. Then Satyabhama said, oh, this Parijat is nice. I want some this Parijat. He said, kya problem hai, le lo. Pura tree koi le le. Krishna wanted to take one Parijat tree. Heavenly planet is populated with so many wonderful things. If you have large tract of land and you have got so many trees, one tree, if Krishna wants it, because he already knows Krishna is Supreme Lord, he has worshipped him also. When Krishna wanted to take one Parijat tree, Indra was ready to fight with him. Hey, mera hai, this is mine. How can you take it? Even within the same pastime, maybe you can say 100 years, because Krishna was here for more than 125 years. Say 100 years. 100 years in earthly planet is only 100 days in heaven. This means 3 months. Within 3 months he forgot. Hey, how can you take part in that tree? Fighting. So, with that kind of thing, as a person, Indra, it is not that Krishna is saving him. For the administration to not collapse. Otherwise, administration will collapse. So, for that sake, he wanted somebody as Indra has to be there. And he's saving him again and again. Indrari Vyakulam Lokam Hridayanti Yuge. He clearly says, Indrari Vyakulam, enemies of Indra. Sura, Asura. Enemies of Sura is Asuras. When Asuras become predominant, he said, no. Sura should be always predominant. That is what will make the administration to go smoothly. For the smooth administration, Krishna does it.
The lesson from this pastime, that Indra, in spite of being chastised by Krishna, he didn't change. So the lesson is, just like Prabhupada says, Brahaspati is an impersonalist. So he didn't learn pure devotional service from a pure devotee. So he didn't take shelter of a pure devotee. That is why he is doing mistakes again and again. If he has read Srila Prabhupada books, he wouldn't have done.
Only problem with Indra was he couldn't get Prabhupada book actually. If he got Prabhupada book, he would have become a pure devotee. Another thing interestingly he said, even though chastised again and again, wo sudra nahi. So we should not be like that. We are chastised by Maya again and again. We should take lessons, right lessons, to take to the right path of Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada's books are there. So those who have got Prabhupada's book and those who are read and those who are following it are better than Indra. Who is that? Yes. Sometimes you can't even conceive the truth. Inconceivability. It is. You will know when things progress further. slowly. Okay, last question. We are already 9:20. Yeah.
Prabhuji, suppose, say for example, after the age of 50, if we accept devotional service to Lord Krishna as a prime duty and sacrifice everything else, is that okay after the age of 50? Like, say, for example, there are a few responsibilities which are to be fulfilled, but ignoring those responsibilities, if one completely surrenders to Krishna and, say, for example, even though someone is a grahastha and starts leading a temple life in a temple, is it okay?
So after 50, if
After
somebody,
50. After 50.
you are 50?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Acha.
54.
Acha, you are already late by 4 years now, according to your own estimate.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Actually,
Because few duties
हो
are
गया, हो
remaining.
गया, समझ गया.
Okay.
परपोर्ट देने का जरूरत नहीं, इतना कॉम्प्लिकेटेड नहीं है. Actually, 50 is already very late. 50 is late. According to Prahlad Maharaj, 5 is the time one should start. Kaumaram acharet pragyo dharman bhagavatani hai. Durlabam manusha janma, durlabam, very rarely achieved. 50 years passed means, you are in a very difficult situation. We don't know how much more is left, by the way. Are you sure how much more is left? Not sure. So, any time you come in touch with Krishna consciousness, if you are more than 5, if one is only 2 years old, don't bother him too much. Nowadays, people are only forcing the children to do devotional studies. The elder को छोड़ देता है. करो. 5 का बाद उनको करना जरूरी है. 5 का पहला नहीं करेगा तो भी ठीक है. 5 years, from 5 years. And we don't know how much is left. Can anybody guarantee me how much is left in me? You have to know that every moment is possibility of Haribol. Not Haribol milk. Haribol milk, pite Haribol. We don't know. We had to be prepared to face the final examination. When is that scheduled? Usually, the students, when the examination is scheduled, एक महीना का बाद है ना, फिर थोड़ा इधर उधर करेंगे. एक हफ्ता, अरे थोड़ा कम टाइम पड़ गया. There are students who study only the previous day night. Seriously. Some, not all.
So
At least they know when the exam is, For us, we don't know when the exam is. That means what? We should be prepared anytime. We don't have to wait for anything. When you are telling 50, somebody in 25 should not think that, अरे भाई 50 बोल दिया ना, अभी 25 years सारी घूम के आएंगे. घूमो मत. सही टाइम पे आ गया अभी, ठीक है? सही टाइम पे. You see, इतना टाइम वेस्ट हो गया आपका. अभी सीरियस हो जाना. ऐसा मत करो यार भाई 25 है तुम और भी 25 का बाद आओ. नहीं, ये लेट है इनका, 20 years लेट है इनका. आपका 49 years लेट हो गया. 54 है ना, 49 years लेट हो गया. तो any time that is more than 5 years old is the suitable time for execution of devotional service, and try to be ready for the final exam. Prepare for your final exam. What's the final exam? Ante Narayana Smritihi. Ante Narayana Smriti. Whether I am ready to remember Krishna or not under any circumstances. Any circumstances, any disturbance, any reversal in life. Am I ready to remember Krishna or not? If you can guarantee that, you are ready.
even
When
if
you
the
come to
family,
that position, you will not be able to do anything else actually. Even Indra comes and tells me, अरे भाई इधर आओ भाई, मेरे को थोड़ा छुट्टी लेना है, थोड़ा बैठो ना, ले जा. Even if the position of Indra is offered to that person who is ready for Ante Narayana Smriti, he considers that position as so insignificant, he rejects it. So that is required. For that, Prabhupada's book, read and live the teachings of Prabhupada. That is important.
so if possible, can I move into a temple? Say, if the family members are not, they are little bit unhappy. So leaving them unhappy, can I move into a temple if I get an opportunity?
It's possible. We will discuss personally. Your personal problems, principles we'll discuss here, personal things personally.
All right.
Everything is possible, but don't put condition. Unconditional. Ahayituki apratiyata. You don't have to put condition. We will put condition, then you are ready to do it. Everything is possible. Granthra Srimad Bhagavatam ki. Srila Prabhupada ki. Nitai Gaura Premanande.